Okay, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you all for being here. Thank you all at home for watching this meeting of the Town Board of the Town of Carmel. Today's date is January 20th, 2021. And before we get started, we're going to have the Pledge of Allegiance to the flag. So everybody please rise. Councilman Borelli, would you lead us tonight?
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, liberty and justice for all. Please remember all the servicemen that can't be home with their families and all the healthcare workers. Thank you.
Thanks, Mike. Okay, once again, good evening, everyone. For the record, all town board members are present with us this evening, as is our town clerk, Ann Spofford, who's here tonight, because tonight is a voting meeting, so her presence is required here.
And welcomed.
And what?
And welcomed.
And welcome, yes, and welcome. Thanks, Ann. And Chief Anthony Hoffman is here from Carmel PD. He has one item on the work session agenda that he can, you know what we can do, Chief? I could just...
No, I object.
You want to stay?
I know what you're going to do.
Okay.
No, go
All
ahead,
right.
go ahead, fine, move
All
things
right,
around.
I was gonna say,
Let's move things around for our new chief. Go ahead.
All right, Chief, so what we're going to do is, I'm going to use my executive privilege and move you up. You should be on the work session, which is after the voting meeting, but so you can leave and go home with your family. I'm going to invite you up to the podium now.
Except, Kenny, it's not fair to Ann, because now Ann has to stay a little bit longer where she would not have.
Yeah.
So, Ann, remember that.
Yeah.
No, that's all right, that's all right.
So Chief Hoffman is here. He's got one item on the work session agenda. It's the only item on the work session agenda tonight, and it's to consider a request to authorize awarding of a bid for the purchase of police uniforms. Chief, take it away whenever you're ready.
All right. Hear me all right? All right. Thank you, Mr. Supervisor, members of the Town Board. As stated in the memo that I previously sent you, I am requesting authorization to continue the Police Department uniform contract with Rescue Stuff Incorporated of Peekskill for 2021. The reason being they are the current uniform provider for the police department. They are providing quality uniforms. The level of service from what I've seen in the past month and a half that I've personally been dealing with them is sufficient given the small number of uniform providers in the area. They're actually pretty good. And in light of the other two entities that bid, I do have personal knowledge of one of them, and it's not in a very good way, in a very sufficient way. As a member of the Mamaroneck Police Department, we used New England uniform in Danbury, and we were not satisfied. We had to go to another vendor. The third vendor, Municipal Emergency Services in Poughkeepsie, I have no personal knowledge of, and in addition, they are the furthest geographically away from the town of Carmel, outside of the 25-mile radius as was set forth by Lieutenant Bierman in our requirements. The pricing is comparable. Rescue Stuff is slightly more, but given the other factors, I feel that we should continue with Rescue Stuff.
Yeah, I think the one vendor that Chief mentioned, we actually had to terminate a contract with about 14 or 15 months ago, if you remember. So that would be something with respect to the GML that they wouldn't be a responsible bidder for this project. And the other, the second bidder, other than the one that Chief's recommending, doesn't meet specifications because they're not within the appropriate rating. So the low responsible bidder who meets specifications is who the Chief is recommending, Rescue Stuff. Okay, so that's how we'll award it. Fine.
So Chief, you and your administrative staff are satisfied with Rescue Stuff, and you're happy with what their product is?
That is correct. There is, the New York State contract has been awarded to Galls Incorporated. It's a large conglomerate. However, they have no physical location anywhere near our area. Their closest is on Suffolk County, which is quite a considerable distance away. And given that, and in addition to the close area in price between the two of them, I would go with Rescue Stuff, yes.
Okay. All right. And I would concur with you. And
Thank you.
Your recommendation is fine with me, and I'm sure it is with the rest of the board as well.
Yep.
Board? Any
Yes.
questions, comments from the chief?
No,
regarding the
thank
uniforms?
you.
Kenny, in light of the fact that we're not meeting next week, and our meeting would be the following week thereafter, I'd like to make a motion tonight, since it is a voting meeting, that we move ahead with the request made by the chief and move that Rescue Stuff, Inc. of Peekskill their bid be accepted
Just add as the low responsible bidder.
as the
that-
lowest responsible bidder.
That meets specifications for calendar year 2021. That, if you want to adopt that motion as stated by Councilman Lombardi and I, you can vote it.
What Councilman
So
Lombardi
so
said?
adopted.
What Councilman Lombardi said, and what Councilor Fulchetti said, what he added?
Somebody move it.
Second?
Yeah, to do it tonight, yeah. There's a second?
Yep, I
Okay,
second.
seconded by Councilwoman McDonough. Ann, do you want to do a roll call vote on this, please?
Councilman Shannon?
Now you
Yes.
see, now you see what I did? See what I did
Very
here?
good, Frank.
And?
Now it makes sense. Councilman Borelli?
Yes.
Councilman Lombardi?
Aye.
Councilwoman McDonough?
Yes.
Supervisor Schmidt?
Yes.
Now you don't have to meet on the 3rd.
Yeah,
If it's just this one item,
yeah.
Thank
This is the
you.
only item for the
Thank you.
Actually,
I don't want
Chief,
the-
thank you.
I don't want
Thank you.
Ann to be
Safe.
bored.
Thank you all. Have a good evening.
You too.
Thank you, Chief.
Thanks. Okay, so that's completed. Now we're going to go back to our regular agenda, which is the town board voting meeting. And I just need a motion now to go back to open the town board
So
voting
moved.
meeting. So moved by Councilwoman McDonough.
Second.
Seconded by Councilman Borelli. Oh, I'm sorry, Councilman Lombardi. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, the town board voting meeting is now open. So the first item is to accept the town board minutes of December 15th, 2020. I need a motion to accept those.
So moved.
So moved to accept. Second? Second. Seconded by Councilman Borelli. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay. First item on the agenda, item number 1, is an amended resolution establishing dates, times, and locations of town board voting meetings and work sessions. Councilman Shannon, would you read Resolution 1, please?
Resolved that the regular meetings of the town board of the town of Carmel shall be held on the first and third Wednesday of each month, commencing Wednesday, January 20th, 2021, and with the exception of the month of September, where the voting meeting shall be held on Thursday, September 16th, instead of Wednesday, September 15th, at the Town Hall, 60 McAlpin Avenue, Mahopac, New York, at 7:00 p.m. All voting meetings shall be held at the Town of Carmel Town Hall, 60 McAlpin Avenue, Mahopac, New York, at 7:00 p.m., with the exception of Wednesday, April 21st, 2021, which shall be held in the Hamlet of Carmel at the Carmel Firehouse, Vink Drive, Carmel, New York, at 7 p.m. And be it further resolved that all work sessions of the Town Board of the Town of Carmel shall be held on the second and third Wednesday of each month, commencing Wednesday, January 13th, 2021. Work sessions scheduled for third Wednesdays shall commence immediately following voting meetings, and with the exception of the month of September, where the work session shall be held on Thursday, September 16th, instead of Wednesday, September 15th. All work sessions shall be held at the Town of Carmel, Town Hall, 60 McAlpin Avenue, Mahopac, New York, at 7:00 p.m., with the exception of Wednesday, April 21st, 2021, which shall be held in the Hamlet of Carmel at the Carmel Firehouse, Vink Drive, Carmel, New York, at 7:00 p.m. I offer this resolution as read.
Second?
Okay, offered by Councilman Shannon, seconded by Councilwoman McDonough. Roll call vote.
Councilman Shannon?
Yes.
Councilman Borelli?
yes.
Councilman Lombardi?
Aye.
Councilwoman McDonough?
Yes.
Supervisor Schmidt?
Yes, motion carried. Okay, second resolution this evening is a resolution releasing a bond for Hillcrest Commons, tax map number 44.10-1-4, and it's for $770,000. Councilwoman McDonough, would you read 2, please?
Sure. Whereas application has been made by BBJ Associates LLC for the total release of a bond posted in accordance with Chapter 131 and/or Chapter 156 of the Town Code regarding the property known and designated as Town of Carmel Tax Map number 44.10-1-4, located at Clapboard Ridge Road, Carmel, New York. And whereas said applications have been reviewed by the Planning Board and the Office of the Town Engineer, both of which have recommended the release of said bonds. Now therefore be it resolved that the Town Board of the Town of Carmel hereby authorizes the release of the bond referenced herein, Fidelity and Deposit Company of Maryland, bond number 09121004, in the current amount of $770,000. I offer this resolution as read.
Second.
Seconded by Councilman Lombardi. Roll call vote.
Councilman Shano?
Yes.
Councilman Borelli?
Yes.
Councilman Lombardi?
Aye.
Councilwoman McDonough?
Yes.
Supervisor Schmidt?
Yes, motion carried, thank you. Okay, resolution number 3 is a resolution authorizing renewal of a license agreement with ASCAP, Association of Composers, Authors, and Publishers. Councilman Borelli, would you read number 3, please?
Resolved that the Town Board of the Town of Carmel hereby authorizes the renewal of the license agreement with ASCAP for public performances of copyrighted music for the year 2021 at an annual rate of $367. And be it further resolved that James Gilchrist, Director of Recreation and Park, is hereby authorized to sign any necessary documents and/or reports concerning said renewal on behalf of the Town of Carmel. I offer this resolution as read.
Second.
Okay, seconded by Councilman Lombardi. Roll call vote.
Councilman Shano?
Yes.
Councilman Borelli?
Yes.
Councilman Lombardi?
Aye.
Councilwoman McDonough?
Yes.
Supervisor Schmidt?
Yes, motion carried. Okay, resolution number 4 is a resolution accepting a proposal for operation of Sycamore Park Food Concession Stand. Councilman Lombardi, would you read number 4, please?
Sure. Resolved, the Town Board of Town of Carmel hereby authorizes the entry into a concession agreement with Carmel Bagel Delilicious of Carmel, New York, to operate the concession stand at Sycamore Park for a 1-year period of March 21st, 2021 to March 20th, 2022, and an annual form as approved by Town Council. Town Supervisor is authorized to sign the concession agreement in general form and substance as previously authorized agreement for such services, which is currently on file in the Office of the Town Supervisor. I offer the resolution as read.
Second.
Okay, seconded by Councilman Shano and Councilwoman McDonough. Roll call vote.
Councilman Shano?
Yes.
Councilman Borelli?
Yes.
Councilman Lombardi?
Aye.
Councilwoman McDonough?
Yes.
Supervisor Schmidt?
Yes, motion carried. Okay, resolution number 5 is a resolution authorizing improvements at Chamber Park. Councilman Shano, would you read 5, please?
Resolved that the Town Board of the Town of Carmel, in connection with the proposed project of Lily McManus, Girl Scouts of America Troop Number 2660, hereby authorizes the performance of improvements at Mayapack Chamber Park in accordance with the memorandum and plan provided by Director of Recreation and Parks James R. Gilchrist, as detailed in his memorandum to the Town Board dated December 14, 2020, and be it further resolved that upon presentation of insurance certificates for all vendors and contractors proposed to perform improvements in connection with this authorization in form acceptable to the Town Council, the aforesaid work may be commenced. I offer this resolution as read.
Second.
Seconded by Councilwoman McDonough. Councilman Lombardi, roll call vote.
Councilman Shano?
Yes.
Councilman Borelli?
Yes.
Councilman Lombardi?
Aye.
Councilwoman McDonough?
Yes.
Supervisor Schmidt?
Yes, motion carried. And I'd like to thank Lily McManus from the Girl Scouts of America Troop 2660 for this project that she's going to be undertaking in Chamber Park. It was detailed last week by James Gilchrist, and it sounds like it's going to be a good project with library books, reading materials, and things like that that will be in an enclosed container or box at Chamber Park for the use of the public. So I think this is great. Okay, next resolution, number 6, is a resolution authorizing improvements at Sycamore Park. Councilwoman McDonough, would you read 6, please?
Sure. Resolved that the Town Board of the Town of Carmel, in connection with the proposed Eagle Scout project of Matthew Cropsey of Boy Scouts of America, Troop Number 371, Mahopac, hereby authorizes the performance of improvements at Sycamore Park in accordance with the memorandum and plans provided by Director of Recreation and Parks James R. Gilchrist, as detailed in his memorandum to the Town Board dated December 14, 2020. And be it further resolved that upon presentation of insurance certificates for all vendors and contractors proposed to perform improvements in connection with this authorization in form acceptable to Town Council, the aforesaid work may be commenced. I offer this resolution as read.
Okay, seconded by Councilman Lombardi. Roll call vote.
Councilman Shano?
Yes.
Councilman Borelli? Councilman Lombardi?
Aye.
Councilwoman McDonough?
Yes.
Supervisor Schmidt?
Yes, motion carried. Thank you. Okay, so that completes the agenda items for this evening's Town Board voting meeting, and we took care of the work session agenda item earlier. So that completes the meeting. So we could dispense with the public comments
Minutes?
because there's,
The minutes.
what's that?
The minutes on the work session?
The minutes?
Accept the Town
On the
Board
work
minutes.
session?
Yeah.
Are those okay?
Oh, from January 6th?
Yes.
I didn't see that on the agenda, and that's on the agenda?
For the work session.
I apologize, for the work
Oh, no.
session?
No. Yeah.
It was number 1.
Review of the town board minutes, January 6, 2021, on the town board work session, before the chief went on.
Hold on. Review of the town board minutes, January 6, 2021. Okay, I'm sorry. Yes, on the town board work session, the review. Thanks, Ann. Review of the town board minutes of January 6, 2021. Does anybody have any comments or questions on the minutes of January 6, 2021?
Nope.
No.
No. Okay, thank you. Thanks, Ann. Okay, so I do want to cover something real quick, and then we'll go on to other announcements. So as you all know, on June 12th of 2020, Governor Cuomo signed Executive Order Number 203, New York State Police Reform and Reinvention Collaborative, which requires each local government entity which has a police agency operating with police officers as defined under 120 of the Criminal Procedure Law must perform a comprehensive review of the current police force deployments, strategies, policies, procedures, practices, and develop a plan to improve such deployments, strategies, policies, procedures, and practices for the purpose of addressing the particular needs of the communities served by such police agency, and promote community engagement to foster trust, fairness, and legitimacy, and address any racial bias and or disappropriate policing of communities of color. So with that, we've been complying with the governor's order of June 12, 203. The town police chief, Lieutenant Dearman, and myself, along with a police panel of representatives from Putnam County, have been meeting. I believe we started meeting in July, weekly meetings, and we've been discussing this policy and plan that the town board has to adopt. Each municipality with a police force has to adopt a plan by April 1st of 2021. So by April 1st of this year, the plan has to be adopted by the board. So we've been working on that. It's been ongoing, and a lot has been accomplished. But one of the requirements in the governor's executive order is that the town of Carmel Police Department and the town supervisor must solicit input from local residents and stakeholders in the community who wish to be involved in the plan and the review for Executive Order 203, New York State Police Reform and Reinvention Collaborative. So in keeping with that, we have set 2 dates. The chief, Lieutenant Dearman, and myself have set 2 dates for the community forums to be held. The first date is February 9th. It's a Tuesday from 6:30 p.m. to 8:30 p.m. And these are going to be virtual meetings that are going to be held. So it's going to be with the Zoom platform. And it's Dominic, our videographer, is going to set up the Zoom meetings, and it's going to allow for residents and stakeholders in various groups in the community to participate and discuss the collaborative reform and reinvention policy that will be adopted here in the town of Carmel. So each stakeholder group in the community that has been involved thus far will be invited and notified of the public forum meeting where the community is going to be discussing this. And they will have opportunity to speak and ask questions of myself, the chief, and the lieutenant with respect to the plan that is ongoing. And Greg, our town council, Greg Fulchetti, is involved in this as well. He met with myself and the chief and Lieutenant Dearman the other day to discuss the plan going forward.
And you've also engaged a consultant for the redrafting of the policies and procedure manual for your department. You engaged that consultant, I think, in September, October. So that's part of the plan that you roll out. The draft plan will be out in short term before the meeting forum, so that people can discuss that and review it before you adopt the final plan on or before April 1st.
So the draft of the plan will be available, and those who request a copy of it, that'll be made available to them. The various groups that we've been meeting with in the community, and they've been very proactive thus far, and I know Lieutenant Dearman had been meeting with them separately prior to Chief Hoffman coming on board, but since the chief is here now, the Chief Hoffman and Lieutenant Dearman will be meeting with these groups. And we've set up an email where residents in the community can submit an email to myself and Lieutenant Dearman under a separate email cover where it'll be it'll be sent to the town clerk, and then Lieutenant Dearman and I will have access to that from the Outlook on our computers. So we haven't been getting a lot of those, but they're coming in sporadically. So whichever ones we do receive, we do respond to. So whoever has a question or a comment they'd like to make, their question or comment is answered, and they'll have an opportunity to discuss it further if it wasn't satisfactory to whatever question they may or concern that they may have. So this is all part of this Executive Order 203 that we're required to have these meetings. I just wanted to announce that to the community tonight, to the public tonight, and to the board that these two dates are set up, and it's going to be under a Zoom platform. So if you want to join us, from home, you'll have the contact information to call in and connect to the Zoom meeting. So you can participate in that as well. So, all right, so the two dates again for the
What's the
community.
second date? I don't believe you mentioned the
Second date is March 2nd. Tuesday, March 2nd is the second date.
Same time,
And
6:30?
Same time, 6:30 p.m. to 8:30 p.m. It's, again, under the Zoom platform. We're doing these virtually because it's not safe to, bring the groups together and have them here in the town hall. So that's why we're going to do it under the Zoom. Anybody have any questions on it? What I just covered? Okay. And Greg, as I said, council is working on the draft plan, and Daigle Law is the consultant that you retain to review the rules and regulations and the policies and procedures. He's doing the whole manual. He's looking at all of them, and whichever ones that should be purged from the policies and procedures, if it doesn't adhere to this executive law, it's coming out of the policies and procedures. So, but the board will have to, ultimately, you'll have to make those changes. They'll recommend that they be removed from the policies and procedures. One of the ones that, comes to mind is the chokehold. That I think Councilman Shannon, you saw that was something
Right.
that was in there, right?
An old policy.
It's an old,
Yep.
it's a
Nice
very
list here.
old policy, but it's still in the policies and procedures manual. So that will be addressed along with others that the law firm that's going to be reviewing it may feel that appropriate that it be either amended, modified, or removed.
Correct.
That's why we retain them to do that, so to adhere to this. Okay, so that covers that. We'll be making these announcements. It's actually going to be on our website, and it's going to be also in the newspapers as a public notice that we're going to be holding these meetings. Okay, that covers that. This announcement I made last week, it's a notice of vacancy. The town board, the town of Carmel is looking for interested and qualified persons to fill the vacancy on the Environmental Conservation Board. Please submit a letter of interest and resume to Supervisor Ken Schmidt, Carmel Town Hall, 60 McAlpin Avenue, Mopac, New York, 10541. You can fax it to us at 845-628-6836 or email it to amp2, Adam Mary Peter 2 at ci.carmel.ny.us to be submitted to the supervisor's office by February 3rd of 2021. For additional information, please check our website at www.ci.carmel.ny.us. That's that. And, okay, that's it. That's it for my announcements. Anybody else have anything?
Yeah, I just had something real quick. I just wanted to brief everybody up with the master plan. It's still moving ahead. Our consultants will be having a webinar. The date is to be announced and determined. I believe it's going to be in February, but right now they are compiling a report of all of the survey answers that they've received. They received over 1,000 of them. So they're putting together a report of those, as well as the input that they received at Sycamore Park with the in-person people that were able to attend that. So it is moving along. Again, it's a little bit delayed because of COVID, But we want to give every single resident in the town of Carmel, business owner, opportunity to give input, so that's why we're going to be holding another webinar. And I just wanted to bring that up, keep it on the fire.
Okay, all right. Great, Bob, you had something?
No, I'm good.
I do have one more thing, but Frank, go ahead.
Yeah, no, this town board, and even the time that I was on prior, tried very hard to keep and make sure that our town stays aesthetically pleasing. And when I see things that hurt the look of our town, it bothers me. And been driving on Union Valley Road, which is not far from my home, from Route 6. If you're coming down on the left-hand side, is a vacant property, which there was a big cleanup of. I don't know. Can you remember? It was 1,000 tires or something was on there. It was more than that. Whatever. All right. Whatever.
Tens of thousands.
Okay, tens of thousands of tires. But in any event, now, for whatever reason, people think that it's okay to dump their couches, I don't know if it's a washing machine or a dishwasher, whatever it is. We have, in our town, we have townwide garbage. And what you can do is, if you have a bulk item, all you have to do is to call the carter, and they'll schedule an appointment with you. If you don't have the number or you need the information, please contact the town. I've spoken to the chief of police just tonight. I've spoken to council, and I've spoken to the building department, and we are going to try to clean that up with regard to those particular items under the property condition law that we have under Chapter 114, Greg. So we're going to work on that, and whatever cleanup there is will be a lien on the property. Whether or not we ever get paid on it, who knows? I know that's been the course of significant litigation over the years for cleanup. And in speaking to the chief and the building department, we will be undertaking enforcement efforts to make sure that that people don't think that they can just dump there. So we will undergo, and the chief had a lot of great ideas about how we're going to do that. And believe me, and I think this board will be behind what I say, that violators will be prosecuted to the fullest extent. We don't dump on property here in town. We have mechanisms where you can contact the carter, pick up your couch. It might be a week or two past the time that you want, but we don't do that here. It's not pleasant for those who have to drive through the neighborhood, and it's not a good look for our town.
Okay, great. Thank you for that, Frank. Mike, did you have anything? All right. Good news that I received this week was that the town of Carmel and the town of Carmel Police Department, the town of Carmel is ranked number 4 of the safest mid-sized towns in the state of New York. And what they discovered was that when they did a study, the study analyzed violent and property crimes from 20 large cities, 119 mid-sized cities, and 234 small cities in New York State. The crime scores were calculated for each city, and the cities were ranked to find the safest places in New York. So I'm happy to report that the town of Carmel is ranked number 4 of all the towns, all municipalities that they studied in the state of New York. It's the safest towns, ranked number 4. I mean, that is absolutely fantastic news. And that's a testament, really, and I said this the other day in a social media post, it's a testament to the men and women of the town of Carmel Police Department. Our police force does an excellent job protecting us day in and day out, 24/7. And we should all feel safe that you have an excellent police force in the Carmel PD. So I gave them kudos as well. Carmel had a crime score of 4, which is well below the average of 32.6 for mid-sized towns between 10,000 and 100,000 residents. Carmel's violent crime rate was 0.7 per 1,000 residents, compared with an average of 8.6 per 1,000 across all mid-sized categories. The town's property crime rate was 2.2 per 1,000 residents. Statewide, the average property crime rate in mid-sized towns was 14.3 per 1,000 residents. We were 2.2 per 1,000 residents. So as you can see, we received very, very high scores from Advisor Smith Advisor Smith is, they do research data. It's a research data based company, and they did the research on this. So I've been receiving calls from residents who either saw this report or they heard about it saying, giving kudos to the town of Carmel and to the town of Carmel Police Department for such a great score.
That's
You know,
excellent.
So we should all be proud of that, and the town board here, as police commissioners of the PD, should be proud of that achievement also. So that's great for the town, and just wanted to announce that I know the Courier and the Mapac News are going to be running a story on this next week because it's terrific news, and the public should be made aware. And also, I should note that the Sheriff's Department also patrols the town of Carmel, as well as the state police. So, but the town of Carmel Police Department is primarily the law enforcement agency for the town of Carmel. So great job, town of Carmel PD, Chief Hoffman, Lieutenant Dearman, Lieutenant Cuddens, all the sergeants and men and women of patrol. Thank you for doing such a great job keeping us safe here in the town of Carmel. So that's all I have. If anybody else doesn't have anything. Okay, so we're not meeting next week, because next week is the 5th Wednesday of the month. But we will be meeting, what was the date that I set for the?
Third. No, Kenny, next week the planning board is meeting.
Planning board is meeting. Yeah, on Wednesday the 27th. Well, we changed the date of the other meeting that we were going to have with respect to the downtown projects, Swan Cove, the banks. That's February 2nd? February 2nd. All right, the town board and our consultants and our contractors are going to be meeting to discuss the downtown project. So this is the staff-only meeting on February 2nd. But then following that meeting, we're going to notice a meeting and advertise a meeting for the public to participate and become involved in the revitalization projects in downtown Mahopac. So the board and staff of the town will be meeting on the 2nd, and probably within 2 or 3 weeks after that meeting, we'll announce a meeting for the public to participate and join in with those, with that design of the downtown projects. Okay?
Motion to
I
adjourn.
need a motion to adjourn.
Second?
Made by Councilman Lombardi, seconded by Councilwoman McDonough to adjourn. All those in favor? Aye. Good night, everyone. Be
Good night.
well. We'll be back
Be well.
here
Be
for a
safe.
town board voting meeting on February 3rd. Or we may not have to. We may not have to because we covered the. Yeah. Yeah. This was our double. So the third. The one item tonight. Oh.